Alright, hello everybody and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to it. If it's your first time here, my name is Gabriella and I'm a freelance photographer and model in the Metro Detroit area. And today, hopefully this video will be quick. I'm trying to work on making my videos less long or shorter. That's my problem. Today what I'm going to be talking about is my Tamron 24-70 zoom lens. I use this for my Canon 5D Mark IV, and I just want to kind of talk about it, why I love it, why I use it, and why I think you should get this one too. So for starters, when I was first looking for a 24-70, I wanted something that had a good range for portraits and for like events like weddings or restaurant stuff or really anything. So I wanted to get a 24-70 because that's kind of the recommended go-to for really anyone. It's kind of the go-to focal length for anyone looking to invest in a zoom lens. So I started looking at them, and obviously there are a few different options, but I'm going to talk about why I went with this one. So for starters, when I was researching everything, I noticed obviously the Canon 24-70 is quite pricey. I usually buy all my gear used, but even so, it is pretty expensive. So I wanted to look at some other alternatives, maybe see what was a little bit more in my price range or what I could kind of get out of some of these other lenses that weren't Canon lenses. Looking at the price between the Canon 24-70, the Tamron 24-70, and the Sigma 24-70, obviously there's a little bit of a range there. So when comparing these lenses, one of the main factors for me was looking at the image stabilization built into the lenses, and the Tamron is the only one that has that. So that immediately kind of sparked my interest. I don't have a ton of video clients and I don't do a ton of video work, but when I do like to have that extra image stabilization because I don't have a gimbal or anything yet to kind of compensate for that. So I wanted to make sure to get something that was a little bit more useful for both video and photo work. Here's a video I took of my friend China for one of my promo videos for my next photo book that I'll be publishing in late summer. This was just attached to my 5D Mark IV. I had the strap around my neck and I was just holding it with my hands, and honestly I would say that it's pretty stable. So let's check that out really quick. Like I said, the video is pretty stable with this lens, so I'm very, very happy with it. The first thing I want to say about this lens, and I think it is true for any 24-70mm lens, is that this is a fairly heavy piece of equipment. This is actually made of plastic, which I believe with the Sigmas, I don't remember with the Canon. I'm pretty sure the Canon is also made with plastic housing and everything. But with the Sigmas, they're made of metal, so they actually end up being a little bit heavier. And my camera, you can't really see it, it's right here, but my camera is already pretty heavy because I do keep a battery grip on it. So I was also taking into account how much weight this lens would add to my camera because I did plan on having this lens on my camera pretty often. It also basically lives on my camera now, and unless I have a reason to switch it. I've been trying to shoot with prime lenses more because I felt like I was using the zoom capabilities a little bit as like a crutch, but that doesn't matter. So one of the first things to keep in mind with these lenses or any 24-70mm is that it is going to be a pretty heavy lens, and that's just going to be something that's kind of unavoidable. Like I said earlier, this lens basically lives on my camera body unless I'm looking to shoot with something else. It's super versatile. Here's some photos that I've taken with it recently. Another thing I love about this lens is that it works pretty seamlessly with my Canon 5D Mark IV. If you've seen my Sigma 35mm video, sometimes the Sigmas can have a little bit of focus issues or they focus a little slow on these Canon cameras. So that was something I wanted to avoid kind of as well, if I could, just because since I'm shooting more events and more things where I have to kind of be able to shoot fast and not necessarily miss focus and go back, I wanted to make sure that I had something that would work well with my camera and would be nice and crisp, and all I heard was good things about this lens. So I will say that it is super efficient and works really well with my camera. It works really fast with like the face find focus setting as well. So that is something that's really nice. I don't necessarily have to worry about the focus not being quite right with this lens like I did with my Sigma 35mm. Obviously, like every 24-70mm lens, the range on this is perfect for portraits. You know, if you need a wider shot to get the full body of somebody in, you just swing down, roll down, twist down, move down to 24mm, and if you want to get a nice portrait style photo, just kind of shoulders up with a nice blur in the background, that's going to be really easy with this lens as well. That's going to be really easy with this lens as well because you can zoom right into up to 70mm, which people really like to shoot between like 50 and 135mm for portraits. So I would highly recommend this Tamron lens. It is cheaper than the Canon 24-70, and honestly, I've shot with the Canon 24-70 and they're like just as nice. And obviously they are beautiful lenses. They were just a little bit more expensive and I didn't get that image stabilization in it. So that's why I decided to go with the Tamron 24-70mm. Maybe down the road I'll end up copping one of the Canon ones also, but honestly I really enjoy this lens. I enjoy the type of blur it gives me in the background, and the focus is really sharp with my Canon camera. So like I said, I wanted this to be a quicker video because my videos are always so long. And I feel like it's super annoying for people, so I was trying to make it short. Hopefully I included enough information on it. Obviously there's a million 24 to 70mm review videos out there, so I didn't really want to go like super in depth about like the specs of this lens. If you look this lens up, you're just gonna see those things anyway. Here's some places where you can order this lens right now. And if you have anything else to add about what you like or don't like about this lens, please drop it below. Honestly, I have used it quite a bit and haven't really had any issues with it. It's always been super crisp. I've never had any communication errors between my lens and camera with this lens. So I would say 10 out of 10, would recommend getting this. Save yourself a little money on the Canon or the Sigma version of this. With trying to keep this video short, that's all I've got to say about the Tamron 24-70. 10 out of 10, would recommend this lens. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, things you don't like about it, things you do like about it, feel free to drop them in the comments below, or you can reach out to me on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, literally anything, and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. If you're like me and you're in the Midwest, please enjoy some of this weather because it is finally starting to get warm outside and I am loving it, which is also why low-key this video is shorter. I want to get back outside. So again, thank you so much for watching and I will see you next week.
I know I'm tripping, I'm falling in love.